station, this is EWTN here in the Vatican. How can you hear me?
On October the 26th, Pope Francis communicated by live audiovisual connection with the crew of the International Space Station.
Jules, EWTN in the Vatican. This is Space Station. We hear you loud and clear.
Very good, thank you. I now hand over to Pope Francis.
Good morning, you all.
Expedition 53 is made up of 6 astronauts. One of them is from Italy, 2 from Russia, and 3 from the United States. Italian space engineer Paolo Nespoli held the conversation and provided translations. In Italian, the Pope addressed 5 questions to the astronauts on topics varying from the place of humanity in the universe to the personal desires of the astronauts to explore space.
What do you think of calling love the force that moves the universe?
Answering this question, Russian cosmonaut Sergei Ryazansky said that he had found the answer in the book of Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, The Little Prince.
The best example of what love is represented in this book, because this small boy was ready to give his life to come back, protect, and take care of his unique flower. I like this answer, and it's true. Without love, we wouldn't be able to give our life for another person.
On the question regarding what motivated them to become astronauts and what they enjoy about being in space, U.S. astronaut and mission commander Randolph Bresnik said that it is to look outside and see God's creation maybe a little bit from his perspective.
As we see the peace and serenity of our planet as it goes around at 10 kilometers a second, and there's no borders, there is no conflict, it's just peaceful. And you see the thinness of the atmosphere. It makes you realize how fragile our existence here is.
The video connection lasted about 20 minutes and connected the Vatican with the International Space Station, which is 220 miles away.
May the Lord bless you, your work, and your families. I can assure you that I will pray for you. And you too, please pray for me. Thank you.
Pope Francis became the second Pope to speak in live streaming to astronauts orbiting the Earth. The first was Pope Benedict XVI in 2011. Not only is the Vatican holding a live link-up with the International Space Station, but it also has its own observatory. And it's right here, some 20 miles away from the city of Rome, by the volcanic Lake Albano, where the air is cleaner and the nights are darker. At these laboratories work the Pope's astronomer, Jesuit brother Guy Consolmagno. Since 2015, the brother has been the director of this special observatory. But is the Church really interested in astronomy?
There's a very practical reason why the Church has an astronomer. And it got started 125 years ago, 1891. Pope Leo XIII was looking for a way to show the world that the Church supports science.
Since that time, the group of scientists include every field of astronomy, practicing both faith and science.
So my own field is planetary sciences. I'm interested in how planets were formed 4.5 billion years ago. We have a collection of meteorites here at the Vatican that was donated by a wonderful nobleman 100 years ago. And we measure their physical properties. We put together tables of the density and the porosity and the magnetic properties and the thermal properties. And the rest of the scientific world uses our data.
The Vatican Observatory, also called the Specola Vaticana, is one of the brightest examples of the fruitful collaboration between the Church and the scientific world. Although this partnership may seem contradictory to some.
You've got somebody here who's got an MIT ring and a collar. I love wearing both of them together because it shocks people out of the idea that somehow science and religion are opposed. they're not opposed. They don't have to be opposed. And anybody who tells you they are opposed is selling you something. And you got to be suspicious. What are they trying to sell you?
Brother Guy is sure that faith and science complement each other because they're answering different questions. Scripture tells us that God created the universe, and science tells us how He did it.
And when I see the stars in a place where it's really dark, I never cease to be amazed and just have my breath taken away. And every now and then, I'll stop seeing the sky as a dome with dots on it, which frankly, that's the way we all think of it. And suddenly I can realize that Milky Way is a disk of stars and I'm in the middle of it.
Here, at one of the oldest astronomical institutes in the world, faith and reason work together to discover how great God's creation is.